Hey, welcome back. Joe Cox Jr. here. So, a lot of you have asked me, hey, Joe, tell us more about the healing stuff. That's really where we are. And I love the fact that you're at the healing stage. You want to, okay, you know enough about my story and the hell I've been through. And all statistics show that I shouldn't even be alive today based on what I've been through. My brother drank himself to death at 29 years old. And I was determined not to make that my final destiny. Um, as you know, that a lot of the times I struggled. I went through 12 years of dark night of the soul, and I, I just went through so much turmoil, and it was day by day trying to understand life and to live another day. I had so many times I wanted to just take my life and be done with this crap that I'm going through, and I thought, well, I'm just broken, I'm flawed, I could never have what I would define as a happy life. I didn't even know what a happy life was. So part of my journey on all this is to define where I came from, how do we find that healing, and then how or is it possible to have a happy life? And I'm here to tell you absolutely 100% that there are solutions. There's an answer for every question out there. Problem is that we're led down a road of here is what we always do, this, and this. But yet suicidal rates were continuing to go up. And I'm like, and it wasn't, I went through um, 6 therapists over a 15-year period that I literally don't feel like I improved at all. If anything, I got worse. I've tried medications, I tried all this stuff, and it did not work. So on my seventh therapist, she was totally different. She was totally different. And bottom line is, she connected with me. She understood where I was coming from at a deeper level. That's when I realized that all these depression, all this abuse, all this neglect, all this narcissistic trauma that I had struggled through for 50 years, I finally figured out where it was and how to start doing something about it. So the first step was realizing that when she gave me a hug that day, it just like filled my soul. I'd never had a therapist give me a hug before and tell me everything was going to be okay. I'd never had a parent do that. Didn't realize that that connection and that somebody believing in me and somebody wanting better for me was completely a different thing for me, and it was just like it warmed my soul. It awoken awakened something within me to say, "Hey, Joe, you're not broken. We just got to figure out where the problem is and fix it." It's kind of like a mechanic. You're working on a car. If you know where the problem is, it's not fixing the problem is not necessarily the biggest issue. It is finding out where the problem is. You hear a click in the car. Well, where is it? It might take them a whole day to figure out where it is. And once they do, it takes them 10 minutes to fix it. That's kind of what trapped emotions is that I'm about to tell you about. Because once I figured out one, that all the books are telling me that all my problems are in my mind, in my body, and mostly just in my mind, the way I'm thinking, that sort of thing. And I realized it was not there at all. It was in my spirit. When I realized I am a spiritual being having a physical experience, everything goes back to the spirit self. The spirit self is actually directs everything within our mind and our body. When you have good energy, high consciousness, everything that goes into your mind is different than somebody that has low consciousness. And we'll talk more about consciousness and what that is, but basically it's the energy by which you live life. I'll give you an example. Most people today live in shame, guilt. They live all these toxic emotions, have this anger, this rage, this feeling lack, apathy. You just don't care. And What I have found is that we all come into this life at a certain consciousness level. Our goal in this life is to become the best self. We're really living for that spiritual, or should I say spirit self, because that is what we wind up taking with us. When the body dies, that's just, look at it this way. The body is nothing more than a tool for this physical plane, this 3D plane, okay, in this dimension. But we have the ability within our spirit self to connect beyond the 3D or physical plane. The more we raise our consciousness level, the more we can connect beyond this plane, the more we can forgive, to let things go, and to protect ourselves to make sure it doesn't happen again. So let's move on to a little bit about trapped emotions. So what I realized after that therapist was when I, after that first session and she hugged me, it just woke something up in me big time. I was feeling different and all. And I started looking at life different. I actually started finding some hope. And of course, my parents, they're still not around, not there to help me. Most of you know the story about that by now. And I've got enough videos that talk about my background. So if any of you are watching this for the first time, you might want to go back and watch some of those. And I tell you the different aspects of my life. I'll tell you a little bit about my brother that passed away, that sort of thing. But talking about the trapped emotions, what I realized, and I talk about it in the book, Life Made Simple. That's the book I came out with. A lot of you have read it, given me great reviews. Thank you so much. But the whole idea, the reason I wrote that book, that's why it has a 100% guarantee on it. If you buy the book and it does not change your life, mail it to me. I've got an address in the front. Mail it directly to me. I'll send you a check for the full amount of the book. I didn't write that book just to sell books. I wrote that to change lives. And I believe that it's slow, the word is slowly getting out, is that me and my wife, we are actually setting up a healing practice. We'll probably start around May 1st. I've got a website being built. I've had so much healing through this. I can't help but share it with everybody because I went through 50 years. I'll be 60 this year. And I'm sitting there thinking, if I had this information at 20 or 30 or 40 years old or 35 years old when I was struggling so bad and I wound up losing everything I had and had to file bankruptcy after becoming a millionaire by 35. And I lost it all because I was struggling just to survive, just trying to figure out. My brain had been put in such a mixer of this narcissism for so long, I was confused. And what I needed was clarity. Clarity of who am I? What is our purpose here? Where are we headed to? Today, a lot of the MDs, medical doctors, as well as the biologists, a lot of the um, therapists out there are endorsing trapped emotions. The way they approach it's a little different as far as releasing them, but I believe the process I took is the best way, and I'll tell you why. Your emotions of the past can be released without revisiting the pain of the past. Think about that. You go to talk therapy, what do you want to do? Bring up that whole trauma again and you have to relive it. This is subconscious emotions that are trapped within your subconscious mind, okay? What we want to do is we want to go into that and pull that emotion out and release it out of you. The reason we have trapped emotions is because all the toxicity and the trauma we go through, we don't know how to process that emotion. So every time we hit an emotion and we can't process it, it can become trapped. That's why you need clarity. Once you have clarity, you can process an emotion. Life is so different now because when I go through a situation, I don't get upset. I don't get angry. I don't hardly get ever triggered very seldom do I ever get triggered anymore. And if I do get triggered, that means there's a trapped emotion somewhere that's causing that trigger. So I'll go back and I'll start doing some emotion code work or body code work or belief code work on myself and try to pull that out and try to figure out where it is and release it. I've gotten to where now when I release stuff, I can literally feel something, a shift within me when it releases. The great thing about this type of process, again, I can go in there and we together, you give me permission and allow me to do this work on you, and we can release that trapped emotion within your spirit self without you having to revisit the trauma. That right there is the most amazing thing about this. A lot of other people that I talk about in the book have now endorsed it outside of the holistic area. There's actually therapists working on it. They're not really going in, I don't think, and releasing the trapped emotions through the subconscious mind. I'm not sure exactly how they're doing it, but this is the quickest, easiest, and most effective, cost-effective way of doing it. I went through, just to let you know, there's 3 different stages. There's emotion code, there's body code, and there's belief code. And as of the end of this month, I'll be certified in all 3, as well as I also do dowsing, to where I can go in and take energy and transmute that energy into something good. For instance, houses, for instance. I can go in to a house. You ever gone into a house and it feels creepy? Or be around somebody and they feel creepy and that sort of thing? That's their energy. What I want to continue about is understanding the 3 levels. So we've got, again, the emotion code, body code, and belief code. Everything we do is based on that in our subconscious. We have a programming. Imagine your subconscious like a computer. Everything you go through, it builds upon. Your decisions come from your belief system. Your belief system is all based on what's in your program while your body's been programmed. There's a lot of subconscious things that you don't even understand why you feel or believe the way you feel. If you've always been betrayed, then you have a subconscious of not trusting anybody. Well, you've got to understand how to trust. When we understand and have clarity on how trust works, that you don't ever trust up front, you let somebody build up trust, and then as soon as they break that trust, then they don't no longer, then you no longer trust them. So trust should always be earned. For instance, it's so many people get into bad relationships up front and they fall too fast, not knowing or having the clarity of what to look for in a person or how to connect. A lot of people don't even know who they are. How in the world are they going to know what they want if they don't even know who they are? Of who we are and how we make great decisions in life. For those that haven't seen the other videos, bottom line is I'm almost 60. I'm on no medication. I'm married to the love of my life, and my career is going the right way. All this in the last 7 or 8 years, it's just been a total game changer in my life. If I had this information years ago, then I could have started making great decisions. There's going to be a little bit of a struggle the first few years trying to get through all this and trying to decipher and get the right information. But I'm here to guide you. This chair is about to collapse, I think. I'm here to guide you to help you understand what decisions to make to get you to the next level. Where a lot of people get to the point of, okay, where do I start? Where do I even start to heal? I feel so broken. First, understand you're not broken. You're just out of balance. Nobody is ever too broken to heal. A lot of people have been led to believe that once all this trauma's happened, you can never have a full life. And I'm here to tell you, and not only tell you, but show you the hell that I've been through. Just a quick summary. I lost my brother when he was 29 to alcoholism, basically drank himself to death at 29. I've got a father that did nothing but steal from me $250,000. Mother that told me from when I was a child that no matter what I do, she'll never be proud of me, that I'll just be as sorry as my father. And I did everything I could not to be, and she still, to this day, they're both still alive. They both didn't still deny me. I can look back now and see all the signs to where at 18 years old, I should have just, even 16 years old, I left home at 16, y'all know that, and I moved in with my grandmother in a cinder block basement. And I should really have never looked back and ever had anything to do with them in my life. But I tried to still make that connection because I had this sense of, hey, Joe, you got to get worthy enough for them to love you. You see where that's coming from? I always felt unworthy, worthless. I felt shame, guilt. If I just did this, then they could love me. What happened is once I started understanding who I was and started healing, then I attracted what's my current wife into my life. We have the best marriage of anybody I know because she's also gone through, our lives are so parallel. She's gone through a lot of the stuff that I went through. But our lives between me and my wife are so parallel. So when I talk to her, she understands where I'm coming from. Whereas somebody in the past may have said, "Oh, just get over it." When I'm struggling, the last thing you want to hear is, "Just get over it," or "Oh, that'll pass," or just kind of blow it off. We sit down and we have in-depth conversations, and she'll say, "Okay, you're feeling this. Where's it coming from?" I'm like, "I'm not sure." What do you think of when you think of that? When you start knowing how to analyze this, it helps you. But triggers are always from the past. Triggers are they're basically what a trigger is when somebody does something that reminds you about something that was done 5 years ago, your subconscious mind goes back to that time, pulls that emotion and brings it to the present. So you've now got the past. Okay, you got the past emotion brought to the current, reliving that trauma. The whole idea is now, once I have released so much of my toxic emotion, my beliefs, that sort of thing, I seldom get triggered at all anymore. This is what wisdom is. Wisdom is remembering the event without the pain. Wisdom is being able to remember the event without the trauma, without the pain, and learning the lesson from that. Because if you don't have the pain, you can then say, okay, I know what I did wrong. I can move forward and make sure I make the right decision next time. When the pain is there, it bends you out of shape. You can't figure it out. That's why hate is so bad. Hate is the worst thing that you can have because it will blind you to anything good in your life. And anything in that consciousness level, and that's way down on the consciousness scale, is when you are bent out of shape and you're upset and something just triggers you and ticks you off. It doesn't matter what's right or wrong. You're going to go with your emotions and your feelings. Remember, when we grow up, all we know is emotions and feelings. 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, we should be taught how to reason, critical thinking skills, understanding how to make a decision from the emotions. So what happens when you come from a narcissistic, not only do they not teach you, they trigger you all the time. They throw all this toxicity and you don't know what's up or down. You've got so much of this gaslighting and so much of this manipulation, you can't even get clarity in your life. So what do? Your emotions, you get lonely, we run away, and we're primed for that narcissist, right? We need that connection, and they know how to fill in that emotions temporarily. You're trying to connect. They give you an idea that you're connecting to them, but in fact, it's all fake. What I want to do is help you understand where you are and what it takes to heal that self within. Become your own best friend. Self-love, putting yourself first. That's something I never even heard of growing up. Matter of fact, everybody says, my mother was big. Don't do anything for yourself. That's selfish. Taking care of yourself is never selfish as long as you're not taking from others. If you have to lower somebody else's quality or steal, lie, cheat, and steal from them to raise you up, that's narcissism. Think about it. It's what they do to you. Narcissistic people tear you down to bring their life up. That's living from the mind, from the ego. What you want to do, you want to live from the heart, from the spirit self. I've been doing this since 2015. So I've been in this about 9 years now, and it has absolutely changed my life, and it will change yours. It's a whole new way of looking at stuff. Bottom line is, I've got another couple of books I'm going to probably put out this next few years. One, I'm going to talk about my struggle with just suicide and how I looked at it and what saved me. And I'm going to go more in depth. I talk a little bit about the book, Life Made Simple, right now, but I'm going to go in more details of my feelings and how I looked at it and what really changed me from being able to know that from now on, I'm I'm never going to die I really thought that I would wind up eventually one day taking my own life. That was just inevitable, that I just couldn't get my grounding. It was just like, even when I made it one more day, I'm like, okay, I'm still going to do it. It's just not today. It was like, but today I don't have that because I've got all this, um, all that toxicity has been out. A lot of people say, hey, Joe, you're pretty calm, you're pretty laid back. Today I'm a little bit jacked up, I guess. I feel, have y'all noticed my hair's growing out a little bit? I'm gonna probably get it cut off or trimmed up a little bit, but I just, more than anything, I want you guys to thrive in life. I'm doing all these videos to help you guys thrive. And like I said, we're starting this healing, or should I say energy healing business. It's going to be up and running, hopefully full speed by May 1st. But if you feel like you need somebody now, look them up online. You can go to Discover Healing, I believe, is where you can find workers all over the U.S. that do this type of work. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend. I have never seen anything close to it, in my opinion. I fell and just, for 12 years, I struggled. I just couldn't get things right. And my um, parents and my siblings just kept one thing after the other. And that's when my brother died as well. It just, all bad stuff just kept happening to me. And I just thought life was that bad. And I realized life is not that bad. It's the people. Earth itself is great. It's a beautiful place. But the people that was in my life was totally toxic. And just about everybody in my life steered me wrong because they were just being parrots and repeating what everybody else does. So, but people weren't getting healed. Why is there, why are so many people still taking their life? I found healing through it. I found something that's very different, very, very different. And I believe energy healing is the future. It's been around. This is not anything new. It just was squished for so long. But this approach is the most efficient way. But energy healing itself has been around a long time. But I talked a little bit about dowsing too, and I'll talk to you. I'm going to do a whole video just on dowsing, about how I can transform the energy of a house, for instance, a haunted house, whatever it might be, or if you feel like you've got entities or I can take care of it. I can remove curses and do these things, and it's just amazing what happens. I can't tell you how blessed I feel to have this knowledge, and I'm here to share it with the world. From my heart to yours, I wish you nothing but blessings. Like and subscribe if you like this video, and let me know below what you would like to hear more about. From my heart to yours, wish you nothing but blessings. Bye-bye.